Good evening. Welcome to the June 24th Foxborough School Committee meeting. This meeting will be broadcast live and recorded by Foxborough Cable Access. I'll entertain a motion to open the meeting.
I'd like to make a motion to open the school committee meeting.
I second.
All in favor? 500. Joe, do you want to lead us in the pledge?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First on the agenda, we have open public comment, and I see we have a few folks here, so we'll just go down the list. Anna Bracavo, come on up. You can sit up here or there, whatever you prefer.
Good evening, all. My name is Anna. I am the mom of a soon-to-be first grader and a soon-to-be second grader at the IGO. We absolutely love Foxborough Public Schools and specifically IGO. So thank you for all you do for our kids. I did just learn from some of the community members that we will be discontinuing Spanish to first and second grade this upcoming fall. And I'm just here to express really deep disappointment for that decision and hopefully encourage some sort of ongoing discussion about that decision. My first grader, soon to be second grader, has absolutely thrived in her Spanish class. Her teacher has been so wonderful. She is 7 going on 8, and she's now teaching her 6-year-old sister how to speak Spanish at home, which has been really incredible. She actually made a Father's Day card that involved several Spanish words and has used it at home. So if that doesn't show some sort of impact, I don't know. I myself grew up in 2 different school districts that was not Foxborough, but they did offer Spanish from first grade all the way through 12th grade, and the impact that had on me was profound. I am able to speak conversationally both at work and socially, and that really had a big impact on me, both as a kid and as an adult. So I just wanted to express disappointment for that decision and potentially open discussion for somehow keeping that in the curriculum. It was discussed within the community that there's possibly some sort of lack of an opening for full-time Spanish teachers. And I think that just poses a big disadvantage to finding appropriate Spanish teachers because, especially in this economy, I mean, teachers are notoriously underpaid anyway, but if they're going to find a full-time position in another school district, then it makes sense why they would pursue that over Foxborough, who's only offering part-time. So I think that's part of the disadvantage and potentially the issue. So I wanted to hopefully hear some answers on that during this committee meeting. I've also heard that STEM will be introduced, so I look forward to hearing more about that. I think that's wonderful. I just wish that we wouldn't entirely get rid of Spanish or any language for children when they're this young, because this is the time where they learn the most. So I think that concludes my comments. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is Lee Richie.
Hi, I'm actually here for the same topic. My name is Lee Richie. I've been an employee of Foxborough Public Schools since 2007. I've taught Spanish grades 1 through 8 and both 7th and 8th French throughout that time. I'm disappointed by the manner in which I heard about the proposed cuts to the World Language Department. We just had a curriculum review process this year. I participated in it because I'm committed to my content area and doing what's best for students. And I learned that many of the results of this process are not going to come to fruition due to the proposed cuts. I sacrificed time with my family, and though it was a paid opportunity, I spent the money on childcare to be available after school. Nowhere in the review was it found that the school committee didn't have the funds or that the stakeholders couldn't see the benefits of the program. However, the current proposed restructuring of the World Language Program would eliminate 2 years of world language instruction at the elementary level, due to the lack of valuing the time it might take to find a quality candidate. After we lost a wonderful colleague and excellent educator in January, the district began searching to fill a .6 Spanish position. They found several great applicants who chose to take full-time positions in other districts. Now that longtime Now that a longtime elementary colleague is leaving to pursue a full-time position elsewhere, the district spent what I perceive as a millisecond searching for another part-time candidate before dropping this bomb that they're going to just cut 2 years of language instruction. They're claiming that there are no candidates for these positions, but why would the next logical step not be to search for one full-time employee? It's unreasonable to expect qualified applicants to be willing to work part-time in 2026. It's June. I was hired in August of 2007, fresh out of a master's program. I thought I was lucky to find the elementary Spanish position as a foot in the door to this wonderful district. Now, many years later, I realize that they were just as lucky to find me. I've dedicated 18 years of my professional life to this program, and I'm heartbroken that without much thought or consideration, it's now being slashed, not due to funding issues, but to a lack of priorities and willingness to problem solve. I know that Foxborough is better than that. I've seen it time and time again. Please don't make this decision lightly and without consideration of the further impacts of it. Thank you.
Anyone else here for open public comment? Perfect. Next on the agenda, we have the approval of minutes. I see one set of minutes here from May 13th.
I make a motion to approve the school committee meeting minutes from May 13th, 2026.
Second.
All in favor? Pat, were you in favor?
Yeah, I was up.
Oh,
Sorry.
5-0-0. Thank you. Next on the agenda, we have the superintendent's update. Dr. Burdos.
Right, first, school is out. Monday, our last half day. There were a lot of happy faces and a lot of sad faces because they did not want to leave. Their teachers, the schools. So tears on students and on teachers. I did see that, but it was a successful last day of school, and I think that summer has already begun just by seeing all that's taking place on the fields by the office. I wanted to circle back when we had the teaching and learning highlight and we had the civics presentations that were here, and just take a moment and congratulate Ryan McGuire. So to go back to the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, they host a regional civics project showcase, and out of those, 133 schools participate. And then based on those schools that participate, actually I'm confusing too. Let me switch to Ryan in a minute because he's also going to be going somewhere here, but I just want to go back. I apologize. So our 8th through 12th graders who go to that civics fair, if you will, we had 133 schools that were there. It was Alicia Kelly who received the commendation for her excellent work on her project there. So that was that piece. The next piece is where Ryan McGuire is going, and he was voted as one of 2 Massachusetts boys for the state senators that will be heading to DC. So the Massachusetts Boys State is designed to teach democratic values. It is to improve knowledge of government and encourage citizenship involvement through an intensive week-long program that immerses students in grassroots democracy. And over the course of those 7 days, they manage their own municipalities. They work to understand better as far as government and how it functions. And then they elect to go to Washington to represent. And Ryan was, this year, was voted in. We actually had also another student last year who was voted in, Ryan Tubbs, and that's very unique. You don't usually have from the same small school 2 representatives to go. So Foxborough will be represented well again, and just wanted to take a moment and congratulate Ryan McGuire on being selected to go on to DC to represent Foxborough and everyone, which is awesome. The other piece that I wanted to mention was all of the work that went into the moving up ceremonies that took place in our schools, our grade 8 moving up ceremony, lots to celebrate as our students are getting ready to transition to the high school. Now they're high schoolers. And then also our 4th grade ceremonies that took place. I was able to attend a couple of those. 2 of them were at the same time. But just to see the parents and the students and just the excitement, but at the same time, so many accolades to their elementary schools and all of the teachers and everyone that's played a significant part, and leaving where they're no longer going to be in elementary. I had many conversations, and it was so wonderful to hear the positive experiences that they had had with their teachers, and it really speaks a lot to the work that so many do behind them. The other thing that I have, as far as probably my last update at the moment, is just an update on our search committee for the Taylor School principal. So we have a large screening committee. As you know, Pat is on there to represent school committee. It's a 15-member committee. We are interviewing this week, and we'll continue again interviewing tomorrow. And then I will continue to update. In this case, if it's before our next meeting, it will be through an email notification. But I just wanted to take some moments here to recognize, I know Mr. Stanton will be here presenting as far as one of the agenda items, but to thank him publicly for his 14 years of service to the Foxborough Public Schools, to both the IGO and to the Taylor. They are countless families and students that have been impacted by his extraordinary leadership as a school leader, as an educator, as a human. And he has done so much for so many people, his colleagues as well. He has an unwavering commitment to Foxborough Public Schools, even though he will be going to the island. It is still an unwavering commitment and has shown that over the last 14 years. Really, his deep care for students, his steady leadership that he's provided. He has made a mark here in Foxborough, and that was during a surprise ceremony that the PTO kind of interjected themselves in the middle of an assembly at the end, and his remarks to his students and to all of his teachers, just really wonderful. And we will miss you. We are so grateful to all of your years of service and all that you've done for the Taylor Tigers, the IGO Foxes, the countless families, and your colleagues. So you've always led with integrity and compassion, and we thank you very much for all that you have done.
May I, Dr. Burtis? I'd like to personally thank Mr. Stanton. I spent 5 years at the IGO. You and my daughter, Sophia, started at the same day. And I just want to thank you. I've seen you impact countless families from a parent lens, from a student lens. I mirror everything she says, but really your impact is going to be felt for generations. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, we have the elementary STEM pilot discussion.
Well, thank you very much for having us tonight. I came across a quote recently that resonated with me I'd like to share, is that people often see the decisions you made, but not the options you had. And what we'd like to do is we'd like to thank you for allowing us to come here tonight to present and share with you the options that we were faced with as principals, resulting in a proposal that we have shared with you to pilot STEM in grades 1 and 2 across the 3 elementary schools. This is the first time that we're talking about this publicly, as filling our elementary Spanish positions has been a challenge that we've been trying to solve. In lieu of world language programs in grade 1 and 2, the elementary program we are proposing will pilot a STEM special. World language will continue in grades 3 and 4. These changes are a result of an inability to fill 2 vacant elementary Spanish positions. In selecting STEM programming, the principals are responding to the community desire to expand on STEM learning opportunities, which was clearly evident in our plan for success and also in each of our school improvement plans. What I'd like to do is to share a little bit of the background that we've had. Since December of 2025, when a fantastic Taylor Elementary School Spanish teacher resigned, we have posted 5 times. We have had 17 applicants. Of the 17 applicants, 4 were certified. Myself, Christine Smith, the World Language Department Head, and Holly Parsons, the IGO Spanish teacher, we were interviewing for the opening at the Taylor School. And at one point, we did have 2 certified candidates that we were very high on. They both took job offers in other districts. It was interesting in talking with one of those candidates. 2 years ago, she was in the Sharon Public Schools, and she lost her job. They eliminated the elementary Spanish program there. This past year, she was in Dover, and they eliminated the elementary Spanish position there as well. So due to the lack of qualified candidates and wanting to provide our students with high quality and meaningful instruction, we are seeking an option that will allow us to just do that, which is our proposal to add a STEM as a special. So as you may know, that there's a contractual obligation that we must meet as building principals to the teachers, where they have a 40-minute prep period per day. That was previously filled by Spanish, and now what we're asking for you to consider tonight is that that be filled by the STEM pilot. What we have found is that we don't want to just hire a body. We want to give our students high-quality, certified instructors. We want to give the taxpayers and this board, when you appropriate the budget, that we're able to find and give the quality of education that we've come to expect here in Foxborough. Unfortunately, and it was said earlier, I think very eloquently, it's challenging when these positions are less than 1.0, but that's our budgetary reality. We are smaller. We don't have the number of classes that demand a full-time Spanish position at our schools. And as a result, at the Taylor School and also at the Borough, they're 0.7 positions. So to begin with, they're very hard to find. And then on top of that, it is part-time. And we have not had luck finding certified. So this is a proposal that we ask you to consider. We all served on the Plan for Success Committee. And I will tell you, across all 5 schools and the community members who also served on that, STEM was, I would say, in my opinion, the number one thing that the parents wanted to see from the schools and at the elementary school. So as principals, the options that we have is that we need to have these positions in place. We need to be able to do our programming, our scheduling. I can tell you, when I build the master schedule at Taylor School, I actually start with Spanish because it is a reduced schedule. So what that means is every single student and every single teacher is impacted first by the Spanish schedule. We start with that one, and then we build out from there. And so as principals, our reality is that we need to be able to have something in place. We need to be able to plan for the year, to be able to look at the services that we provide, and to be able to meet what we feel is best with the budget that we have and the options that we have as well. I don't know if there's anything else that you'd like to add.
Yeah, I'll just add that Christine Smith, the World Language Department head, and I have been working very, very closely to review candidates over the past couple weeks. Today, even in fact, when I was at school, I was texting her, I was emailing with her. Simultaneously, we were emailing candidates, calling candidates. We've really been trying tirelessly to find a qualified, certified candidate. Like Mr. Stanton said, we really want to be able to provide that high quality instruction, and the only person who can do that is someone who's certified. And unfortunately, we haven't been able to find that person. I'll just add one more thing to what Mr. Stanton said as well. The complexities of an elementary schedule are often unknown to those who don't create it, but elementary schedules are incredibly complex. You start with specials. We have that contractual obligation to be able to provide for our teachers 40-minute prep time every day, and then we build off of that. And I, like Mr. Stanton, I start with Spanish because I'm limited in kind of my options as far as scheduling it out throughout the 6-day cycle. The 6-day cycle, which also adds to the complexities of our schedule. But we work very, very closely together, and we put our heads together, and this is the proposal that we came up with based on what we believe is best for our students.
Do you have any questions for any of us regarding the proposal?
Does anyone have any questions?
Who's teaching the 3rd and 4th grade Spanish? Is that like a separate teacher? So it's just one teacher for the, okay. And then the other question I had was in terms of finding teachers, because obviously that challenge right there. The STEM, is there a reason why that seems like it'll be easier to find a STEM teacher as opposed to a Spanish teacher?
It's a great question. So STEM is, as you know, it's a growing field. There is a lot of push towards science instruction. It's something that a lot of people are becoming certified in. It's also something that a lot of teachers are currently certified in. So a lot of people who are certified in classroom teacher positions for either K-2 or 1-6 are also dual certified in that position. It's simply just much more common, especially in the growing field of science and technologies.
Thank you.
Would this replace the same FTE amount in the budget, or would it be different?
So the FTE for Spanish right now with the other two equals a 2.3. 2.3. So it would actually, in order to have, correct me if I'm wrong, because you've all done this scheduling, 3rd and 4th grade, it would increase one of those positions to a 0.5. And so you would move one of our positions that is 0.9 up to 1.0, and that 0.3, because you have itinerant, to be able to go between schools. It really is, I'm oversimplifying as far as on even the FTE because of the itinerant piece of going from school to school. The other piece that I wanted to add was, so you're very familiar, obviously, with the budget process, and in the last 2 years, trying to add a STEM teacher. We had our digital learning coach 2 years ago in that position to be repurposed into a STEM teacher. We were not able to do that budgetarily at the time. It was brought up again this time from a budget standpoint. We were not able to do that with our budget as we went through. So with the challenges and the thinking outside of the box in order to meet the contractual obligations, if you were to pilot something, you would be able to fulfill the contract obligations. You would be able to have, as they were talking about, a high quality instruction that's there, and it would give you more time to be able to, as one of the things that came out of the curriculum review, is look at the real needs as far as where they are. And with some of the shifts, we know a lot of students switch to French as they go into the secondary level. We also currently still have 2 open positions in world language at the high school that we have yet to fill as well. So it's not a matter of devaluing Spanish and world language at the elementary level. It's trying to find a solution to a very complex challenge that they have. And the scheduling, it really is much more complex. At the secondary level, you have software programs that do the scheduling. You don't have that at the elementary level. It's all hand scheduled. And then when you have itinerant staff and when you have bubble years as far as grade levels as well, there's a lot of variables that go into it. So I will say that I thank them because they have spent, not only with the 5 postings and the time going through all of the applicants and interviewing, an extraordinary amount of time and effort in trying to find a solution that would get us through next school year.
Does anyone else have any thoughts or questions?
So then the idea is to do it for the 26, 27, and then review it? Or go back and say, okay, we can find these teachers, we can't? So what we would be proposing would just be for next year. It wouldn't lock us in to say
At this
we couldn't
point
go
in
back.
time, it would be for next year. When we presented the STEM specialist position, that was not to be in place of elementary Spanish. That was to be an enhancement to take the science standards and to provide more hands-on inquiry-based opportunities for students in the elementary classroom. And we would put forward the STEM specialist position, again, through the budget process next year. This would buy you a little bit of time if you would still be able, based on the scheduling and what they have been able to identify, by having a 1.5 for Spanish, that it would be able to meet the needs of grades 3 and 4.
Anything else? Well, I'll entertain a motion then.
I'd like to make a motion that the school committee propose to change the instructional program for the 26-27 school year in lieu of world language program in grades 1 to 2. The elementary program will pilot a STEM special reading.
Second.
All in favor? 500, thank you. And thank you to you guys for the
Thank
countless
you.
hours
Thank
behind the
you.
scenes with this.
Sounds like you were between a rock and a hard place, so
Yes.
we appreciate
Yes.
it.
And I just want to say on a personal note, thank you. It's been an honor, tremendous honor to have been 14 years, 8 at the IGO school and 6 at the Taylor. Foxborough is just a fantastic community. I thank the board, the current, and also your predecessors. I know there's a lot of challenging decisions that you make, but it's always for the best interest of students. And you know, it's a wonderful family here, and the students are second to none, and the staff and the teachers as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr.
Best
Stanton.
of luck.
Thank you. Best wishes.
Next on the agenda, we have some first and second reads from the policy subcommittee.
All right. I will do the first read first, and we'll do the second read second. So, first policy we got here is policy ECA, that's Buildings and Ground Security. It's just a brief little revision here, so I'm going to read the whole thing for you here. Buildings and ground security. Public school buildings and grounds are one of the greatest investments of the town. It is deemed in the best interest of the school department and town to protect the investment adequately. Security should mean not only maintenance of a secure, as in locked building, but protection from fire hazards and faulty equipment, and safe practices in the use of electrical, plumbing, and heating equipment. The Foxborough School Committee expects close cooperation with fire and law enforcement departments and with insurance company inspectors. Access to school buildings and grounds outside of regular school hours will be limited to the public from dusk to dawn for intended purposes. The superintendent has the ability to issue a letter of disinvite pursuant to the statute. An adequate key control system will be established, which will limit access to buildings to authorized personnel and will safeguard against the chance of entrance to buildings by unauthorized personnel. Funds and valuable records will be kept in a safe place and under lock and key. Protective devices designed to be used as safeguards against illegal entry and vandalism will be installed when appropriate to the individual situation. Employment of security personnel may be approved in situations where special risks are involved. Policy was originally adopted 3/24/08. This was basically an adjustment that was requested, and it's related to what we're doing for the second read tonight, the ECAB. We want some clarity over when the grounds can be used, specifically like the track and stuff like that. So by adding the dusk to dawn for intended purposes, basically if you're on the track, you're not riding a bike around it or anything else, you're using the track for track things. And if you're there after sunset, as my grandmother used to say, nothing good happens after midnight. So that gives the, say, the Foxborough Police, the stand-in to point to something that gives them the authority to basically tell the person to take a hike. So we do have to do the typo for intended purpose, and I believe that was it for it.
The only other thing, if I may, you said ability instead of authority when you read through. So it's authority.
After the superintendent has.
Superintendent has the authority, yep. Sorry about that.
Shouldn't it say pursuant to the statute?
It does, doesn't it?
Oh, it's missing a T.
Statute, that's statute.
Missing a
Yep.
T.
Oh,
Missing a T.
No, we were going to put up a statue that was going to have all the rules, so they could just point to that.
I look forward to seeing what that statute looks like.
yeah, right. Excuse me, Pat, can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
What is the origin of this? Was this a Mass State or MASC recommended change? Like, what's the origin
The
of this
Foxborough
change?
Police asked for this.
Thank you.
Yeah, they wanted to have some verbiage in there about the dusk to dawn.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I just like to hear the rest of the story. Thank you.
Anyone else have any questions, comments? Sounds good. Look forward to a second read.
Is there a particular legal reference that needs to go at the bottom of this?
Is it at the
There's a
bottom?
statute?
We should. MGL.
I wonder if maybe it's on another, maybe on the original policy and not on this draft,
There should be MGL, because you're referencing the statute,
right?
or statute.
Or the statute.
Again, it's the statute.
No, we can hunt it down.
Yeah.
But by the second read,
Yeah.
we can hunt down the MGL.
And I think that's a great example of why it takes in policy so many people to read.
And there's some second reads.
Yeah.
I guess if you want to go through them one by one and let us know if there's any changes from last time or not.
So the wellness read, it's policy ADF. There has not been much of a change other than some minor clerical things. As you may recall, it took me about 12 minutes to read it last time, so. if it's
Would you like a motion to waive the
I
reading?
would love a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to waive the second reading on policy ADF wellness.
I second.
All in favor? 500.
Welcome, Pat.
Yeah.
I'll entertain a motion.
Okay, now,
Okay.
continue on, yeah.
Next, we have approval. Oh,
No, for wellness, the conversation, now that we've
Yes.
we've
Oh,
waived
yeah,
the reading. Sorry.
all right, so as we've gone over it, basically this is to align with everything. And funny enough, as I've been sitting in on the principal committee thing, I've heard things come up where this wellness policy would actually apply now. So it is something that is occurring in other districts as well, so it's nice that they're codifying something on here. And there was a lot of work that went into this, as you can see, many, many words. So it's an original policy, so this is the first time in this form. It's sort of a conglomeration of several other policies from the past for it, but it sort of unifies everything and puts it in one comprehensive package.
I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'd like to make a motion to approve policy number CHCA, approval of, ADF wellness, with much gratitude to the policy subcommittee.
I second.
All in favor? 500. Thank you, policy subcommittee.
All right, next up, we have the second reading for CHCA. Again, this is, no
Well,
change.
first, I make a motion to waive the second reading of file CHCA, approval of the handbooks and directives.
Second.
All in favor? 500.
Hey.
Please continue, I'm sorry.
This one was just a title change, right, Allison?
The handbook one was, yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, so this was just, the title change was the only real change to it, so.
May I make a motion?
Of course.
I'd like to make a motion to approve policy CHCA, approval of handbook and directives.
I second.
All in favor? 500. Thank you.
I make a motion to waive the second reading of policy ECAB, access to buildings and grounds.
Second.
All in favor? 500.
All right, this access to buildings and grounds, this is the child case of ECA, which we just did for the first read. This is just providing additional clarity on the access to everything for it, especially with some of the changes to the rental policies and whatnot. As you can see, there's several cross-references down there for various policies. So this was created, and it was sort of intended to just make sure that we have everything covered with policy in regards to making sure that everybody gets paid, everything's covered, and it's all in there, so.
Anyone have any questions, comments?
Just reading through it and wondering if we need MGL in this as well, or if we can just
I think we're good on this
We
one
can
because
just
it
chase the
references
ECA. Great, great, great. Excuse
I will
me.
entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve policy number ECAB, access to buildings and grounds.
I second.
All in favor? 500. Thank you very much, Policy Subcommittee. Next on the agenda, we have the vote on prepaid special education out-of-district tuitions. Ms. Sheridan.
Hi, how are you? So I'm here to get a vote approval for prepaying out-of-district special education tuition. The district has had a history of doing this. It's every year they've been doing a prepay. In accordance with the Mass General Law, for private school, you can prepay 3 months. For collaboratives, you can prepay a whole year, but that's not what we're doing. But for this fiscal year, we would like to prepay a total of not to exceed $361,970.21. That's the estimate that I have right now on the prepay, so we won't be going up above that.
Any questions? Thoughts?
I'd like to make a motion to approve a budget transfer to cover the list of out-of-district prepays for the fiscal year, not to exceed $361,970.21.
I second.
All in favor? 500. Thank you.
I did just, can I just say something? Because I think this is the second year you've done this, but since I've been on the committee for the last 5-6 years, it's been a common practice. This is, I just wanted to.
It's been actually much longer
Yes.
than that.
Yes, yes. I just wanted to just highlight that.
Yeah, it has been
It's not anything new.
Nice that it gets ahead for the next fiscal year.
Yes. Yeah.
Next on the agenda, we have the vote to approve the Foxborough Public Schools Policy Manual. This is an annual vote that we take around this time of year, just to make sure that we approve it and follow those policies.
I make a motion to approve the Foxborough Public Schools Policy Manual.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? 500. Thank you. Next on the agenda, we have overview of the superintendent's mid-cycle review. Dr. Burdos.
Okay, so mid-cycle review, when you're on a 2-year plan, the mid-cycle comes at the end of year 1, the formative year, and that's where we are at this point in time. This is the Department of Education, Elementary, Secondary Education, same evaluation cycle. I follow the same as all educators in the district that are certified. In the formative year, unless there's some significant change in performance, then the ratings from the previous year stand. But one of the things that we do at this point in time is a check-in. One thing that's different for Foxborough, what has been the past practice, is to reflect on 3 different questions. This came into play back when I was assistant superintendent, the superintendent at the time, and it's something that's carried forward. And asking those 3 questions, what am I really proud of? What am I working hard on? Or what challenges do I face? It's an opportunity to really think over the course of the year and to reflect on those. Now, there's lots of things to be proud of. There's lots of challenges. There's lots of things to work hard on. So it's hard to really streamline that down into a document because you hear a lot of it during the year. But you do have that in your packet. And what am I really proud of? One of the many things is our plan for success. That 25 to 2030 document that is not a document that sits on a shelf. It is a living document. You've heard it referenced even already tonight, and I think that that's one of the things that we do a really good job of is all of the presentations that you hear. They harken back to that, to our goals. They're aligned. You see that vertical articulation. And it is a document that has the voices of many that are represented there. And it really is that roadmap for us to make sure that we're meeting the ever-changing needs of education and the needs of students as we go forward. It's flexible enough to be able to respond to changes that happen, particularly when you have a 5-year document, but just the number of voices and all of the work that went into that to be able to bring that forward. And I think the published version of it, as we have on the website, the flip book, it makes it really accessible to anyone to take a quick look at and to see what the goals of the school system are and how they align for each of the schools. As far as working hard on this particular year, it was a year that we all are very much aware of with contract negotiations. We have 9 bargaining units. We had 2 of them, our 2 largest, which was the teachers and educational assistants, whose contracts expired in 2025. Lot of time on your part. The contract is with you as the school committee, that I sit in on that, obviously, and really making sure that we're doing everything we can to be able to continue with a positive culture and climate and support our teachers and support our students through that process. And when you see in one of the sections when we get to the goals, significant progress that's there, but we're not there yet. Continuing to work, the ratification with you and the teachers, professional staff was completed in December, and we're still working with educational assistants, and as recently had arbitration fact-finding last Friday. So still in the process there, but I would be remiss if I didn't say a lot of people have worked really hard to be able, building leaders as well, and teachers, to make sure that, our focus is continuing to remain on what's most important, and that's the students that we serve every day, the decisions we make to support them. As far as challenges that I face from this year and moving forward, that is obviously increasing challenges with the budget as we go forward, prioritizing when we have constrained budget conditions. 86% of our budget, as you well know, is salaries. Last year, a year ago, it was 85%. The year before that, it was 84%. And as we continually grow in our specialized programs and special ed, meeting the needs of our students and being able to keep them in district is most important, so we can have our students here. Sometimes we're not able to do that, and out-of-district placements are necessary. But if we can continue to build those specialized programs and meet the needs of our students so they're here with their neighbors in schools, but at the same time, that's challenging because of the budget piece, the increasing needs, and making sure that we have the supports that are there to ensure that we can meet them effectively, and at the same time, support all of our educators that work directly with our students in our sub-separate programs, and do that in a way that is positive and effective and budgetarily able to do that as well. So that will continue. We'll continue to have that conversation, no doubt, into next school year, into the budget season as well, particularly as we know it's not just academic, it's the mental health, social, emotional well-being of our students. It's really supporting our whole child. So when we look at the goals you have in your packet, you have all of this information for you to review, so I won't go through all of this. We'll continue, I know, at the next meeting, but just every educator has a professional practice goal, a student learning goal, a school if you're a building principal, or a district if you're at district level improvement goal, and then there can be other goals. So the goals for my professional practice goal, which was to strengthen adaptive leadership capacity as we deepen our district-wide implementation of being equity-driven, looking at data to make our decisions as we move forward and respond to any emerging educational challenges that we have, and then continuous improvement as we move forward. So what does that mean? It means being flexible. It means being responsive. It's approaching challenges that become forward that are new. Student needs, staffing. We had an example of that just earlier this evening, and having to respond, making sure that we're being fair and equity focused. So when we look at the grade levels, it's not a matter, if you take the example from earlier with the world language, not just having Spanish in one building in third and fourth, to be able to say, okay, to focus, how can we solve this problem and have equity across the 3 elementary schools so all third and fourth students would continue, instead of saying we're going to focus on one school. That's just one very small example that's there, but really making those informed decisions that it's not guessing, it's based on facts. The student learning goal is what you've heard a lot about this year, working with Dr. Burrows, working with Dr. Donovan, and to implement the Massachusetts Innovation Career Pathways Program. Really excited to be able to move forward with the grant and have that designation with the advanced manufacturing pathway. Looking at that, again, we're already looking in the future and how can we take the next step with biomedical and enhance that by having that in alignment with our project Lead the Way. So all of the information that you see there, a lot to do with that supporting the innovation pathways and then participating on that planning committee for that work at the high school. And then budget always comes in to play as well with that and support that implementation of the innovative pathways and working through the budget process and then all of the things that are outlined in the plan for success. As far as the district improvement goal, that was to complete the plan for success. Check. We're there. Lots of work there. One of the things I'll just point out there as far as part of the key actions, one of those key actions was to tell the story of the Foxborough schools in a way to show, our goals, our areas of improvement, but just to highlight and celebrate a lot of the things that you hear that come out of the plan for success. And I've tried to be really strategic as far as my superintendent monthly spotlights. And you've seen a lot of those different pieces that are spotlighted within that one communication. Just one example of being able to highlight whether it's the STEM opportunities, whether it's the arts, any of those kinds of things that are playing out year long, but trying to lift those up. And many times that's the work of what our staff members are doing as well. As far as other goals, there were 2 of those, one of those being to move forward with the Massachusetts School Building Authority project. As you know, it was the 4th submission for the statement of interest, and then moving forward with getting the funding through town meeting. First of all, getting invited into the grant program, and then getting the funding for the feasibility study at town meeting in May. We're really excited that we have that funding to move forward. Currently working on the questionnaire. It's such a simple word for a lot of work that needs to be done before July 30th. And that really has to do with enrollment projections. It has to do with looking at our space, what we're proposing to study during the feasibility study, really looking at teaching methodology, looking at technology. And that is that first step after getting the funding for the feasibility study and working on that currently, which is due July 30th. The last one is what I mentioned before, which is to successfully conduct the contract negotiations. And as I mentioned earlier, we still, so significant progress there, but not yet met as far as negotiations. And I'm happy to take any questions, or if there's further information that you want on any of the information that's here prior to the next meeting, just let me know that as well.
Thank you. Before we start, can you just clarify kind of what happens between now and the next meeting, or what is expected? Because I know this isn't a year where everyone needs to give a full formal rating. So just for the new members, if you want to kind of explain that process.
So if there's not any significant change as far as performance, then the ratings would stay the same. And you do not need to do any composite evaluation like what you do every other year.
Does anyone have any thoughts? Comments, questions, concerns, anything?
And you will have your opportunity during executive session as well to be able to have any of those conversations too.
Perfect. Well, if anyone has any questions between now and the retreat, I'm sure Dr. Verdos is open to talking with anyone about those. So.
Yeah, and in this time of year too, where it's the off year, but usually when you're doing your individual full evaluations for the composite, we have those individual meetings just to see how I enjoy those sit-down opportunities with each of you individually. So if it's the off year, but if you'd like to schedule those, love to meet with you individually too.
Thank you. Perfect. Next
So
on.
do I have to do anything as the clerk?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Just want to make sure.
I love how seriously you take your role. I really do. Good job. Well done.
Next on the agenda, we have the joint letter to the conference committee. Before we start with this, I just want to mention I consulted the State Ethics Commission and School Committee Legal Counsel. Based on their input, I'm recusing myself from any deliberations or other involvement in this matter due to a potential conflict between my role as a legislative aide and a school committee member.
Oh, yeah.
Good luck, Pat. Up to you now.
All right.
All right. Mr. Chair, if I may, Mr. Acting Chair, if I may. I just wanted to explain to the committee that this letter came from during my tenure as chair. MASC does encourage school committee chairs to come together, to strategize together, to meet, to make sure that we're aligned and that we find some common goals. I found it to be a very, very positive practice. We had a meeting with a few of the chairs. I think there were 6 of us there with different towns, and we really enjoyed it. It was a great experience. It made me feel very grateful for Dr. Bertos, and it made me feel very grateful that we have our own transportation company. So the 2 of the common themes were superintendent search and paying for buses. So anyway, this letter was sort of a germ of an idea that we had at that dinner, that the chair of the Stoughton School Committee said, hey, let's get together and let's address the Budget Conference Committee. Let's talk about some of these hot button items and see if we can put a few of our, since we're already getting together and we know we're like-minded, let's put it down on paper and let's see if we can get, these communities together to send to the budget subcommittee, the budget committee, the budget conference committee at the state level to just say. So this would be East and Foxborough, West Bridgewater, possibly, and maybe a few other. We didn't get this letter in time for some of the meetings are done for the summer, but we want to get this before the state budget goes out at the end of the month. So I really felt like the right thing to do was to run it by the committee at large. Nate had to recuse himself, but to run it by the committee at large and ask for an action or a motion to look this letter over, to approve it. I had sent it to Dr. Bertos and Dr. Burrows. They both sit on legislative committees, and they felt very comfortable with the language. There's 4 main bullets here: to maintain the $160 per pupil minimum aid figure included in both the House and Senate budgets, to retain the Foundation Budget Review Commission included in the Senate budget. And then it goes on to explain, to fund special education circuit breaker reimbursement at the higher funding level included in the House budget. And again, it goes on to explain, and then fully fund universal free school meals. This funding will allow every student access to nutritious meals regarding a family income. So those are the 4 that we came up with. And I felt like the right thing to do was to put it out to you all, because obviously we're always stronger together. So.
Yeah, and I think, thanks for that. And I think it's really important for us to sort of present a united voice for it, for a couple things, because a lot of people probably don't know. But when you're looking at the funding, obviously it's the state and the federal are 2 separate entities, but as we saw in the MASC meetings and about how the budgetary process works, it does sometimes feel like a district that is responsibly managing their books and managing their education system gets punished because they get less aid, and they heap more on the taxpayers of the individual community, which is both a blessing and a curse, because it means you have great schools because they're not giving you as much, but also it would be nice to get as much, especially with the way that special education, for instance, in Foxborough, our special education is fantastic. And what that does is that leads to people moving here, and then it takes a few years for the funding to catch up, but those expenses start incurring immediately. So it's important for them for everybody to say, hey, like, you guys need to help us with this special education, with the circuit breaker, because I think, if I am remembering correctly, you rarely get the full level for the circuit breaker. Is it 50 or 70%?
75%.
75%.
75 is the highest that it typically goes.
Yeah, but what do we usually end up getting for it?
Usually, in the last few years, you've been getting 75% for tuition, but not necessarily for transportation.
Which is a huge cost, right?
Right, but they also,
Last year they matched, though,
yeah,
correct?
some years they have.
Yeah.
But I know they've been trying to get that increased, but it
Yeah.
has not been passed
Yeah,
yet.
I think that's what we're touching on here with
Right,
that.
needs to be
sort of-
higher than the 75%.
And that's again, that circuit breaker reimbursement, it's once you go over a certain threshold of the cost of transportation or the cost of tuition per student. So it's not a full reimbursement, even though we're getting up to that 75. When it calculates out, even that 75% is a little less than that 75% in total when you look at the total number. So it's very important.
Yeah, absolutely. And the whole, like, free school meals, I mean, I'm speaking for myself here. I see some of the projects that the state is pushing money towards, and I think that no matter what side you stand on, fully funded, universal, free school meals, like, nobody should have any sort of issue. Like, I like my tax dollars going to make sure that every kid is fed. And for some kids, even some kids in our district, but I know it's a lot common in other districts, it's the only, like, guaranteed meal that a kid knows they're going to have. So I think that it's very important, and, you know, we did the wellness policy earlier with the nutrition for the kids is so important as well. I think it's something that everybody can get behind.
And may I just?
Please, please.
So also too, just this year, as a data point, 75% of our families took advantage of lunch and 25% of breakfast. And I think that shows the trust in our community as far as with our food service department and under Janice's leadership there. But it is a significant staple for so many families, to your point.
Yeah, I mean, I know me personally, because now we're in summer camp mode, and summer camps don't offer such a luxury for it. So now it's that extra thing that you have to worry about while you're doing all the other activities for it, and it's.
Yeah, so don't forget about what I had mentioned in my last update with the why, and I sent that out through email for families too, as far as to get lunches this summer. So that's another, to go back to that.
That's a good point, yes.
Thank you. Thank you for the reminder.
Yeah.
So I guess at this point, if anybody would like to make a motion to accept this, or if anyone has any different discussion based on this, you know, or any questions for me regarding this and the origin of this, I just think it's really good that these communities are coming together. Hopefully Nathan will be able to continue on the tradition. Everyone's welcome, though. You know, we obviously have an open meeting law to worry about, but, you know, they kept me on the list. We added Nathan on the list. So, like, it's just great that the communities are coming together to do this, in my opinion.
I'm technically the chair now, so I
Yeah.
can't make a
Okay,
motion.
I make a motion to accept the joint letter to the conference committee.
I second.
Okay, any questions? All right, all in favor? All opposed? 4-0. Is it 401 or 400?
401.
401.
Yeah,
Okay,
one
since it's
abstain.
reduced. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, no, thank you all for your faith in the process in this. Thank you all for weighing in, Dr. Burrows and Dr. Burdos, weighing in on this in almost real time. I appreciate it. Thanks, Nate. Sorry.
No, it's like the walk of shame.
No.
Thank you, Pat. Next on the agenda, we have the community update. Allison.
I have nothing today.
Michelle.
Just a reminder, if you're interested in joining CPAC, please do so. We are having our popsicle play date on the Payson Park on August 6th. The rain date will be August 7th, and I wish everybody a happy and healthy summer.
Sarah.
I have a few things. First of all, Michelle, thank you for your tenure that I believe has lasted about 13 years on the CPAC as being an officer. So I just want to recognize you for that and thank you for everything you've done for all the children and families and students over the years. We are truly blessed and lucky to have you. So we have some super special people here in Foxborough, and I believe you're one of them, so thank you.
Thank you.
On a happy note, we had Founders Day a few weeks ago. We tried something new. Recreation was totally on board to do a dog carriage maker space. It was well attended, but I just want to give a shout out to Kristen Pellerin from Recreation and Deb Marcelonis from the Founders Day Committee. They really did such a cute event. I got to go with my nephew. Abby, the famous Abby, was there. Abby McGuire came, Pat's daughter, and she did a beautiful dog carriage. We had a few people come over. It was great. And they got to leave their carriages right there, so they were all ready for the parade, which the parade itself, I just want to thank Steve Uden and Lauren Batar. We hit a few bumps in the road, and we weren't able to videotape it. Foxborough Cable Access had some technical difficulties, but this year what we decided to do, with the help of Mike Bristol, Michelle's husband, they put together a photo montage. We had 2 photographers going. It was awesome. So we're going to put together a photo slideshow. So stay tuned for that. It should be available on Foxborough Cable Access. Just a quick shout out to Deb Marcelonis, because she's been working on this since last year. So I just want to say thank you to her. It really is the cutest event. We are trying to figure out how old it is, and the oldest that we can go back that we've been able to track is over 60 years that this dog carriage parade has been going on with only one bump in the road, and that was COVID for 2 years. So I think it's pretty cool that we're still carrying this on and people are taking it on. It's a lot of work, but it's so fun. It's so fun and cute. So, and I just want to thank them for giving me that. I've been the MC now for 5 years, and I absolutely love it. And giving me that role, I really appreciate it. And then on a personal note, I just wanted to do this in open meeting and let you all know that my husband has accepted a position, and we will be sharing time between now Vermont and Foxborough. We will stay citizens of Foxborough, and Foxborough will forever be our home base, but we will be splitting our time, and I just felt like it was appropriate to share with the committee an open meeting. So if you do see me on Zoom, which the Attorney General does allow, a little bit more, that's why. So I'm still committed to Foxborough. I'm still committed to my role, and I just wanted to share the news with you all here in open meeting, and hope you'll understand if I have to be on Zoom a little more. So thank you both. I'm thinking over the winter. So thank you.
Congrats to Oscar.
Congratulations.
And the Ladon family.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pat?
I want to, it's not really an update, but it's just a thank you to the DPW folks. That's the tree and parks, the water, the highway, and not just for the great job the tree and parks guys did as the spring season came to an end and we start the summer season. It's been relatively dry, but the fields are still in great shape. But also with the World Cup going on, yesterday I had to go pick up my son at a camp in Rentham, and I had to traverse through the center of town at like 3:20, and honestly, barely noticed much was going on other than all the police presence and the cones and everything else, and obviously a lot more pedestrians, but things have been running very smoothly. For those that don't have the resident pass for getting around on game days, I strongly suggest that you look into it and go into the police station with your registration so you can get it. Makes life a lot easier. And our visitors from all over the world have been lovely guests. So I think there's still 3 more games to go, but I think that it has been done very well, and police and fire have also done a great job with handling the logistics.
Thank you. I agree.
Dr. Burdos?
Community update, not so much, but community reminder that now that school is out, we have students and children everywhere, and they may be riding bikes or riding scooters or what have you. So please be careful and to watch out for them, as they may not necessarily be watching out for you as they're having a good time on summer vacation. So we want everyone to have a healthy and safe summer. And don't forget to look at those different places like the public library with the opportunities that are going on, also with the foxes around town and those different activities to be able to stay active and healthy. So there's a lot of things. So please make sure to go back to the websites and to look for those to be reminded, particularly if you're saying, what can we do? There's so many things that are going on, but be mindful of students, children everywhere.
That's a great point. Condolences to that poor family in Franklin.
I know, it's very sad.
Dr. Burrows.
I do not have anything, although it might be helpful to point out that, and Nate and I were talking about this before the committee meeting started, the governor has released the statewide graduation council report, and that is available on the Massachusetts website. I'm happy to share the link with the committee. It is about 130 pages long of recommendations that we've previously shared with the committee. It's still in the works. There are no current changes to high school graduation requirements, but it will become a topic of conversation. So I would encourage a little bit of skimming maybe between now and when the next school year starts.
Thank you. Ms. Sheridan.
I don't have anything.
I have two. So booth starts on Monday. So to echo that reminder, a lot of kids are going to be around town, especially around lunchtime. So slow down, pay attention, and happy belated birthday to the school committee's #1 fan, Jill Garrity. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
A second?
All in favor? 500. Thank you very much.